So something really, really unbelievable ended up happening. Unbelievable in the sense that I didn't see it coming. So I've been out all day doing my little grocery shopping, doing, what I need to do. And then I came and found out as I got home that apparently there was a massive NVIDIA GeForce Now leak, which revealed a ton of games that haven't been announced yet. Now, keep in mind, with NVIDIA GeForce Now, it's a service that you'd be able to stream games. However, I'm not fully familiar with the system. However, I know that it's something where you can stream games on. So within that system, they're able to find a bunch of the data for a bunch of these games that are in here. Now, one thing I want to say at the beginning of the video, just because these games are listed in the official NVIDIA GeForce Now servers, that does not necessarily mean that any of these games are coming to PC. And some of them could even mean that they might not be coming to PC at all and be coming to something like PlayStation Now. So, like for instance, if we were to see Sonic Unleashed on there, doesn't necessarily mean that it be coming to PC. That could just mean it's coming to PS Now, which it already is. That just for the example. But one thing in particular, you know how I be over here with my JRPGs, one thing that really caught my attention was Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4 was listed in this database. Now, this shouldn't be overly, I guess it shouldn't be overly surprising. Now that we have the entire Kingdom Hearts series, every single game, from the main collections that we've been able to play on other platforms, they're also available on PC now for everybody to be able to play, that being the Epic Game Store. But one thing in particular that's really interesting is, one, I'm really surprised we're getting Kingdom Hearts 4 next, from what it seems like, primarily because this is the first time in Kingdom Hearts history since the earliest of days where we only had one game in between, a mainline title or a numbered title. Between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, we had Chain of Memories on the GBA. Chain of Memories didn't come out until after Kingdom Hearts 2. So that's what's really different about this. I don't believe we've had that. And in between 2 and 3, dang near most of the series came out during that time. So it hasn't happened since the earliest years of Kingdom Hearts. So with Kingdom Hearts 4 being in here, that doesn't necessarily, again, mean that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be on PC. What it means is, Kingdom Hearts 4 is being worked on. I know that might seem, well, duh, but again, we didn't know what the next Kingdom Hearts game would be. We just had Melody of Memory and we had the Remind DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, but that doesn't necessarily mean, again, we have plenty of reason to believe that because, again, they haven't done that since the early 2000s. We had plenty of reasons to believe that Kingdom Hearts 4 wouldn't be the next game. And the fact that it's already in here goes to show a lot of different stuff. Now, I did want to actually go and show a lot of this stuff too. That way you guys don't think that I'm just tripping. So I'm gonna have this pulled up on screen so you guys will be able to actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, just to make things easier, I went ahead and used my streaming layout. So right now I'm on Tojo Dungeon, mainly because I have their notifications on Twitter, and this is the article they had posted about it. Basically, a guy who was playing around with the GeForce Now store, he ended up finding out that he could easily view their database just with a little tinkering, and he actually went ahead and made a whole thing about it, step by step, what to do in order to do it for yourself. I'm not gonna do it here because I don't know if that's so I know you have to get a couple things, like this or whatever, but I do know that is there. So he actually made a video about it as well, documenting all this stuff, him looking through it, things like that. And I believe he's doing it in this video and stuff too. Again, I don't want to show too much of it just because, but basically, here is some of the highlights that were on the list, because when he was showing it, as you can see in that picture, which is kind of hard to see, there are 1,800 games in that list. So tons of them can already be out, so that's not really a significant number, especially when you think about how much these game services actually have on their websites. But again, we have Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, God of War, Returnal, Demon Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet and Clank, Gears of War 6, Avowed, Chrono Cross Remastered, Remaster, Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm assuming is the first one, coming to Epic Games Store possibly, which is, again, something we have already known about. Final Fantasy IX Remake, Kingdom Hearts 4, Resident Evil 4 Remake, which we already know is happening, Dragon's Dogma 2, GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas Remaster, Bayonetta 3, Judgment, Catherine, Full Body, and Half-Life 2 Remastered. There was also another thing here at the bottom where it talks about the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves edition, which was listed. Keep in mind, this list was actually published to GeForce Now 6 months ago, and this Uncharted version specifically was on their service listed 6 months ago. But in the recent State of Play event, they ended up having that announced. So that just goes to show that adds a little bit more validity to it, because that specific name, who would know to name it that specific thing? But that name has been there for 6 months. So that adds a bit of, thing about it. So, and this guy was saying, for those DMing, I believe the NVIDIA GeForce leak is real, and we'll have some additional details on the code names for Xbox Game Studios shortly on this Twitter account. Code names don't mean definite projects, but it included Typhoon, which is Contraband, and Holland, which is Fable, which 2 games we know are coming. Now, some people were trying to tell me that they were kind of believing it until Bayonetta 3. As people know, that's a Nintendo thing, but I want to go and shed some light. I don't think this is necessarily meaning that this isn't possible, because a lot of people don't seem to realize Nintendo is a big advocate for NVIDIA, as again, the Switch kind of runs on NVIDIA hardware, and not just that, there was also the whole thing with Mario Galaxy was on the NVIDIA Shield, and Twilight Princess and some other Zelda games. They were all on NVIDIA products that you could actually play them on. And that, I think they just continued it, but that may be just because maybe they have plans for this, to use this service. That might be cool too. And we've already known Nintendo is, willing to put out their games on other platforms depending on what it is. Nintendo has already shown they're willing to, really put out for the mobile market, as well as you can get Mario games and other things like Dragalia Lost, which is an original IP for Nintendo as well, all on mobile. So I think that goes to show that they are willing. The fact that they're even putting Nvidia in the Switch is a big reason for it. So Bayonetta 3 being playable on GeForce device. If Nintendo games are going to be playable on anything outside of Nintendo products legally, then I believe it would be on something NVIDIA related. And I know some people might not believe it because of all this Final Fantasy. Tactics Remaster doesn't necessarily surprise me too much. This isn't the first time we've actually had a remaster of Tactics at all, as Tactics came out on the mobile devices as well too. 7 Remake doesn't surprise me again, because we've already kind of seen 7 Remake within the Epic Games Store, data in their database. So we know that's coming, especially since they really had a hand in actually helping Square make that game. So it's not too surprising, especially alongside all the Kingdom Hearts games coming there. It's not that surprising. So if Final Fantasy games are going to be coming out, I wouldn't be too surprised. I do think though, Final Fantasy IX, this is specifically saying remake. Now, those of you guys know, Final Fantasy IX is like my second favorite Final Fantasy game now, which it was my first until Final Fantasy 14, but I love Final Fantasy IX, and it just got announced for having an anime as well, which is gonna be awesome. But the fact that we're getting 7 remake, Final Fantasy IX remake, and Tactics remaster, not remake, remaster, I think that is amazing. I think it's amazing. And Chrono Cross. Now, some people were upset that it's not Trigger, and again, those of you guys know me, Chrono Trigger is like my favorite video game of all time. It's tied as for my favorite. And as much as I would prefer it to be Chrono Trigger, I also really want a Chrono Cross, because technically Chrono Trigger has already had 2 remasters. Regardless of how you may feel about whichever version, some people don't like. Most people consider the DS version remaster to be, the true version of Chrono Trigger, but some people prefer the original script from that game, because all the ones onward have completely different script. The story is the same, but the way the script is written is very different in the original. We had the original, we had the DS version, we had the mobile and the Steam versions. So that's Chrono Trigger has been shown love over these years, even though we want more. It hasn't had too much love on consoles, which is what it was originally released on. So I can completely see it. Now, Chrono Cross has dang near never been remastered. I think you might have been able to get it on the PS3 store, but it was kind of just like emulated on there. It wasn't like an actual remaster. There was no differences to the actual game. We like the fact that Chrono Cross, or at least they're working on it, or they have put work on a Chrono Cross remaster. None of, like I said before at the beginning of this video, none of this actually means this stuff is going to end up coming into fruition. This just means this stuff has been touched by these companies already. Ratchet and Clank for PC or somewhere, Ratchet and Clank has had association with GeForce Now in some way with PlayStation, but that does not mean that they will actually follow suit with it. You know what I mean? So this just means that it could happen. The fact that Square is actually thinking about remaking Final Fantasy IX and remastering Chrono Cross just goes to show you that they are really trying to make moves for next year. I know, Kingdom Hearts' anniversary is next year, and there's a bunch of Final Fantasy VII games coming out next year, with the whole collection that they had talked about. So there's a bunch of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts stuff happening right now, and I'm super, super excited about it. I'm going to be keeping up with this stuff because I'm really excited about it, and I am getting more back into Kingdom Hearts. Those of you guys that know, I've been here for a while. I used to only really upload Kingdom Hearts, but now that I've taken some time away from the series, I think I'm about ready to start making some videos on the series again. After hundreds of videos on a game, you start feeling a little fatigued on the specific topic, no matter how much you love it. Sometimes you need to take a break from something you love just so you can remember why you loved it, So, I think that most people would understand that. I know a bunch of people that, met me now probably don't even know what Kingdom Hearts is. But I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I have some stuff to say about Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe some stuff that I haven't already talked about. But that's going to do it for me. Do you guys believe this stuff? Do you guys have a real understanding of what I talked about? Actually, I meant to show this part too here as well. This is the Reddit post that they made about it as well, because again, there's a lot of games. As you can see, 951. There's a lot of activity on this thread specifically. They said that they're going to be keeping, updating this list constantly, because again, as you guys saw, there was a lot of actual games on that list. And in this video, he actually started going through some of them. Now, I believe they said if you wanted to play it, this doesn't like get you these games for free or something like that doing this. You do have to still pay for these games to actually be able to do it, but still. Again, this is not a guaranteed PC list, so understand, this is for streaming. That's what they're trying to say. The Sony games can be linked for PS Now, since you can play those games on the PC platform. So that doesn't mean for sure they're coming to Steam. So this makes sense. And all the Sony stuff coming in general just, reinforces what Sony did say, that they're interested in putting some of their first-party games onto PC. They are interested in that, and we've seen that. Horizon ended up coming. Days Gone ended up coming. That one Kojima game too. That game ended up coming. The UPS game. That game also ended up coming up on there. So I'm not too surprised by this happening. I'd love to see Ghost of Tsushima on PC as well. I'd love to see that. But this is showing the Chrono Cross Remastered, Tactics 7, 9, 16. I actually didn't know about that. 16 was here. Unannounced title by Square Enix. That's what it actually said in the system. Even in the system, it did not say what it was. So I'm not too sure what that can end up being. Cage 4, Tomb Raider Anniversary, etc., etc. We have more Monster Hunter 6. But yeah, Titanfall 3, that is really cool, especially because EA is kind of understanding that people really like Titanfall after everything that's kind of happened with Titanfall as well. I actually had this too as well to show New Super Mario Brothers. That I believe someone had said this actually was posted in 2014. They had put it up on here, so it would be playable in China, but still. But that just goes and reinforces again, like I've said, Nintendo has been supporting the Nvidia side of things for a while when it comes to their games. So seeing Nintendo products available through GeForce service does not surprise me too much. No Persona 5. Yeah, no Persona 5. But okay, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. This is too much. This is too much. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys believe it? Do you guys, even though there's all this evidence and there's a method to where you can go and check for yourself, he even tried to tell Nvidia about it 4 months ago. Here it says that. Well, I can't highlight it for some reason, but You know, again, if you want to find out how to do it for yourself, I'm going to link this video in the description. That way you can check it out for yourself. I'm not going to do the exact thing. I'm not going to show it in the video, like I said, but you guys can go and check it out too if you do want to. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can actually oh, I'm not in this. No, we keeping this in. We not editing this out. We not editing this out. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember everyone to play some games, have some fun, and enjoy your day today. Woo! I'm super excited for this.